when we can bring that acceptance of contrary evidence into the equation, we end up being on the other end of someone who can welcome in more empowering beliefs into our lives. Am I going to lose followers? I know is a lot of people's thought process when it comes to posting things on Instagram, and like, what happens then? And then they go into a whole, well, you know what? They weren't the people for me. But like that impacts at a subconscious level more than we realize.
I had this intuitive pull of, I can't hide myself anymore. I made the decision 3 years ago when I left my family's home that I'm never going to hide who I am again. Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
And this is Amelia.
Welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth-minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. We hope you enjoyed the last episode, number 208. What are limiting beliefs and how do we stop them? For today, number 209, Motivation Monday, how to stop hiding who you are. I felt really pulled to do this episode because of an experience that I went through a couple of weeks ago. And I wanted to share that with everyone here because I really think that we all go through this. And I think we all need someone to kind of look to say, like, they did it, I can too. And
Definitely.
That's not to say that I am that person, but I think a lot of us struggle believing things are possible for us because we don't know anyone who did it, or we don't feel safe enough to like ask someone who might have done it for their feedback or for their guidance. So I feel really pulled to talk about this and to bring up this story, especially considering Pride Month just happened last month. And if you're part of the LGBTQ community, you or someone you probably know spent a long period of time hiding who they were because of the people around them. So, because of Pride Month, I wanted to post a picture of Mary and I, my partner. We took this really cute picture of us kissing on my porch like a month or so ago. And I've like never posted a picture like that. But I was like, I'm just like, I love this person and I want to celebrate our love and celebrate the relationship that we've built and just be authentically just happy because I am, like, for the first time. Like, I'm in a place in my life where because of all of the things in my life, like, I'm doing the best I have ever done. And I wanted to show that and I wanted to celebrate that. And that picture was like, you could see it in my face. Like, I just looked so happy. And I wanted to post it. And for 2 weeks, I was sitting on it.
Really?
Like, 2 weeks it was saved. The draft was there.
Aww.
And I kept wanting to go post it and I wouldn't. And I wanted to post it and I wouldn't. And I would delete it and then try to redo it and then delete it and then try to redo it for 2 weeks. And it was the end of the day and I was like, I need to post something on Instagram. What am I going to post? And I'm like, I need to post this picture. I can't not do this. Like, I have to. There was just this intuitive pull of like, I have to do this like right now. So I grabbed the photo, I put it in the thing, and I put up a caption. And I was really vulnerable in the caption. And I basically said this: I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks wanting to post this, but I've been really scared to do it because I know that a lot of backlash can probably come to me when I post this. There's people in my family and there's people in the community that are not happy with the fact that I am gay, that I am in a gay relationship, and that I'm publicizing it. And it was a really significant moment for me because I had this intuitive pull of, I can't hide myself anymore. I made the decision 3 years ago when I left my family's home that I'm never going to hide who I am again. And me not posting that picture was me hiding who I was.
Mm.
And I had the pull of, you need to post this because you're living outside of alignment with who you are. There's too many of us not living in our full truth, not being fully expressive with who we are, dialing down aspects of ourself, like me and my laugh. Oh my God, I have the most obnoxious cackle you will ever hear. And for the longest time, I was so worried about letting people hear it because I'm like, they're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm like ridiculous.
Mm.
We all have little aspects of ourselves that we hide or minimize, or that in the past we didn't let people see because we were so scared of what someone else might think, or what someone else might do, or how someone else might feel or interpret based on these inherent qualities of who we are.
Mm.
Now, granted, if who you are is hurting other people, like if you are genuinely hurting other people and you're being unintentional with certain things, that's different, right?
Yeah.
This isn't to say like, hey, accept who you are because you're like physically hurting people. Like, no, that's not what this is. But if there's inherent qualities about who you are, like you're gay, or you're in an Italian family and they all eat meat, but you don't want to, that's
Mm.
not aligned for you, but you feel like you have to and you can't be who you are, or whatever else it might be. We all have qualities about ourselves that we're afraid to show to the world because we're scared of what someone else might think.
Yeah.
And overcoming that has been one of the hardest things for me, but also the greatest gift I have ever given myself, because I gave myself the permission to love myself and value myself enough to realize that I deserve to be who I am.
Mm. As someone who is an ally, a proud ally of the LGBTQ community, I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of those people who are being more of who they are unapologetically. And I know that you don't have to be a part of a specific community to do that, to have fear around that, to be afraid about who this might impact in a negative way because of their own stuff. And I'll give an example. So like literally be even you and I today, if you're a part of the Evolve Venture Society, today, which will be like couple weeks later when we post this podcast episode, but I had done a Your Evolve story with you. And there was fear underneath me being really like who I am when it comes to talking about goals and how people fall off track during summer. And, you know, that is an active part of me who I've actually named Shade. And Shade is a part of me who's meant to keep me kind of turned down, who is it's a proactive manager of my life that makes sure that if I were to really be 100% of who I am, very outspoken, that might hurt someone. And so managing how I navigate, really expressing how, quite honestly, a lot of people are leaving impact on the table and massive fulfillment and massive parts of who they could be by letting summer get in the way of their goals. And there's a very fearful part, you know, that I know all of us have by turning down for other people. And there's an equally fearful part that turns up to stop hiding who you are and what happens on the other end of that. Will people like me? Will people be okay with this? Am I going to lose followers? I know is a lot of people's thought process when it comes to posting things on Instagram, and like what happens then? And then they go into a whole, well, you know what? They weren't the people for me. But like that impacts at a subconscious level more than we realize, right? And so, you know, how to stop hiding who you are. It starts in those little daily moments of behind the scenes when you have a picture that you want to post, working through that self-talk underneath that, like, I'm deserving of being who I am, regardless of what other people think. And it starts in those little moments in your self-talk behind the scenes when no one's looking, when no one even knows what your intentions are. That's where it starts. You not dimming your own light because of what you might anticipate might happen. That's how you stop hiding who you are. It's really behind the scenes when no one's there. There's no outcome already. You know, like it's in the moments before anything happens, before you start hiding who you are. That's where we interject and we kind of duke it out with our internal parts, with our internal dialogue, with our internal limiting beliefs, you know?
I was just going to say, it's processing through the limiting beliefs that you're having that are convincing you that you're not good enough to be who you are.
Yeah.
For me, it really was that. It was, I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. People are going to hate me. And
Mm,
I can't be okay with that. I'm too afraid of what someone else might think because I value what they think of me more than what I feel about myself. Yeah, for anyone
I was
who's
just,
not watching this on YouTube, Amelia's face just dropped.
yeah,
There's too many of us. I know because I speak to a lot of you. I know we all go through this together.
definitely. And there's a lot of people who feel too much. I fall way more on that end. I feel too much for people. I've always been like told messages that you do too much of this, you think too much, you care too much, you try too much, you like, I'm a too mucher. And that can sometimes boil down to not feeling enough for the people around me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who they're like the shining light in their community, and people get intimidated by that and they've tried to shrink them their entire lives. And there's the opposite end. There's a lot of us who have just been beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just feel insanely small. We all go through it. At what point do you finally start to have the realization that I am hurting myself so much by believing all of these things and allowing that to impact me and how I live my life? I
Mm-hmm.
had the realization of that 3 years ago, and I said, I can't do this anymore, and I will never do it again. And that's why I don't go to family events anymore. It's why I don't really go around my family as much anymore. I don't engage with a lot of people in my community, in my Middle Eastern community anymore, because I will not be anyone other than who I am to make somebody else comfortable
Mm-hmm.
because of their bigotry or their insecurities or their uh,
Misogyny,
homophobia or misogyny
homophobia.
or whatever. I won't do it. I love me too much to be anything other than who I am. And there's people relying on me and people counting on me to be who I am. And who would I be if I allow myself to go around these people who make me feel terrible and make me feel like I have to be less than?
Mm,
And then let that energy carry out into a coaching call or a therapy call or a meeting with Amelia for this organization that we're building.
yeah. Hmm. Woof. Who hasn't gotten supercharged on this Monday about this concept? It hits all the pain points. And honestly, this was my hardcore version that I'm going to bring because otherwise I'd be hiding who I am. If you want to stop hiding who you are, bring the pain dial up of what that would be like your entire life. Pain is one of the biggest things, activators of change. And I think if we can exacerbate the pain that we experience, we actually don't numb, we don't cope, we actually just experience it in a very authentic, honest way, the pain that we're experiencing. I think that that can be a huge activator for really positive change, one that we can control, one that we can transform, one that we can tap into as a source of power to embody the change that we aspire to see in the world.
I want to put a disclaimer. If you do it intelligently, this is not to say continue engaging in self-harming behaviors or anything like that. This is saying
Truth.
stop running away from and hiding from the pain that you're feeling and numbing it and saying, "Well, it's okay. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal." Stop putting qualifiers on your pain.
Yeah.
Let yourself acknowledge the truth. I had to do that. I had to look at the ugly, naked truth of my family, my entire family does not want me being who I am because they don't like it. And how I had to completely change myself in order to be around them. And having to ask myself the hard question of, am I okay living this way for the rest of my life? Because I have to go to bed with me.
Right.
So I made the pain worse by letting myself see the raw truth and saying, F this. I will not live this way anymore. And I want to be able to do this so I can help someone else do the same thing, which I get to do every day. And it's amazing.
That's what I meant. So heck yeah to that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the disclaimer. And if you want someone to help you do this because you're struggling doing this for yourself, Bianca and I have free coaching that we do every single Saturday. It's a free call. We'll help coach you through this. We'll help you in this regard. This is what we live for. Please take advantage of it. The link is in the show notes, and we'll talk to you soon.
What's your episode suggestion?
My episode suggestion is 152. 152, a huge myth we were all taught. You?
Mine is 36, the power of courage. That's actually the episode where I came out on the podcast.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. Thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please leave us a 5-star review. And we will see you next time.
Bye everybody.